Budget.
Budget and Finance Committee meeting to order at 5:45 p.m. Discussion and/or action regarding approval of the budget for the 2025-2026 Catherine Phelan, CFO. Ms. Phelan.
Good evening. You have before you tonight the proposed draft of the budget. I'd like to point out some key points as you consider the budget. First of all, if you will flip to page 26, you will see the total expenditures for the 25-26 budget are actually $235,000 less than what we are projected to be at for 24-25. Here's the reason why that is. First of all, we had some increases. The new salary schedules cost was $1.3 million. Longevity stipends, $1.8 million. We also had some savings. Retirement savings of about $394,000. We eliminated 9 positions because our student count decreased. That cost brought us a savings of $206,000. The 24-25 projected costs also include a lot of furniture expense. We do not anticipate that occurring next year, and that is about $500,000 in savings. Also, we made the assumption that because of our new salary schedules and the longevity stipends, the state stipends, things of this nature, that the annual leave severance pay will be going down by an estimated $125,000. So that is why the expenses for next year's budget in the general fund are pretty close to this year's expenses, even though we changed the salary schedules and the longevity stipends. I'll take a moment to pause to see if we have any questions or comments. All right. Going through the rest of the budget book, it's a lot thinner than it has been in prior years. That's because the future of federal grant funding is very volatile. So it has, from last year's budget to this year's budget, meaning 25-26, we have lost about $450,000 in federal funding. We used a 2.67 inflation factor, which was the inflation rate as of last Tuesday. Health insurance is expected to go down. Now, when you look at the general fund, the health insurance costs are reflected as being going down. However, based on the information I have, I did not decrease the health insurance by all the positive factors. I want to thank the board for underwriting that and endorsing that, because That has allowed us to change salary schedules and the longevity stipends. This is huge. This is huge. I can't emphasize enough to you all what a good decision that was. Comparing the expenses year on year, we're still in August here, so we don't have quite all the data. I did meet with the health insurance team late last week, and it looks very good. For example, we just got a $249,000 pharmacy rebate check. So we are looking at potentially $1 million just on pharmacy, and that's not even at full capacity.
Ms. Phelan, if you could explain, why didn't we ever receive the pharmacy rebate before?
Because we were fully insured.
Correct, the rebates went to the company.
Yep.
Now, we're our own company, so when you get the pharmacies, we get the rebate, it would go to the person who was underwriting. Now, we are getting the rebates instead. So once again, because we have the assurances of the funding that we have in that account to allow us to take the risk to go self-insured, we are now seeing the benefits of a little bit of the muscle we can pull, I guess you'd say, against big companies to say, we can fund this ourselves. Mm-hmm. We are getting the benefits of it. The rebates that the company would have gotten from all the medications and so forth. Our organization, and there's going to be another rebate coming as well for the pharmacy, correct, later on?
Every quarter.
Every quarter.
Yeah, every quarter. So again, I'd like to thank this board for trusting us and moving forward with this, because we are seeing the benefits. And our employees will see those benefits also. Mr. Tesvich and I had a nice discussion this morning, and he had some questions on the budget. He pointed out that we had talked about 5 buses every year. I did not recall that discussion, but we can certainly do that if the board so desires.
Thank you. And the conversation with that was regard to David and I had, and my apologies, Ms. Phelan, that in order for our fleet to meet the regulations for the State Transportation Board in the years, there are certain buses at a certain age can only be used for maybe after-school activities, and then some buses can be transporting children back and forth. In order to keep up, because if you remember, a lot of our buses were purchased right after Katrina. Well, the age on some of that is starting to come to fruition, and there's a lot of buses that we purchased after that. So we need to keep where we purchased, and we purchased 5, I believe, last year. We're moving forward, purchase another 5 this year, and we're going to continue that rate and then get ourselves stable. So just to let you know, that will be, the buses run anywhere between $120,000 to $150,000 a piece, depending on the extra equipment, that we purchase in it in regards to that. So that will be added to the budget. Thank you, Ms. Phelan, for the reminder. And Mr. Tesvich, thank you.
Also, Mr. Tesvich had a great question in that, well, where's the capital budget? The capital budget is different than this budget. This is an operating budget, and it is for one fiscal year. A capital budget is for many years, and that requires a lot of people at the table. It's not just me putting out some numbers. I spoke with CSRS today, and they plan to present at the next Land and Construction Committee meeting some things for you all to decide on. And then once those decisions are made, we can begin the capital planning process. Additionally, the Governmental Accounting Standards Board, also known as GASB, they're two separate animals because one is for a fiscal year, a capital budget is for multiple years. So it is not required for us to include that in this operating budget. Additionally, the reimbursement resolution that the board approved and was executed stipulates that we establish a facilities master plan to keep all of these expenditures in one fund, to keep it clean and very transparent. So there are a couple of reasons why you do not have the capital plan budget this evening. And that's really all I can say on that right now until the next land and construction meeting.
And some of those items she's referring to, if you remember the Appendix B, that middle part where it went through all the schools and said the things. So Mr. Bateman, Clint, and Bill met last week to start looking at, okay, over the next 3 years, which items are the first ones and where we're going to fit. Let's sort of get some rough estimates of what these will be, and then we can start putting them on paper. Then we're going to bring those to you at the Land and Construction, have further discussion, and then it starts evolving into that big spreadsheet that's multiple years and so forth like that. So it's a process that, quite frankly, we've never gone through before in regards to just doing multiple years ahead and just trying to renewal, like, being cognizant of, okay, we had an HVAC system purchased 12 years ago. It has a 15-year life. When are we going to, attack that and how often? So that's being developed as we speak. We started our first meeting on that last week, and Bill will be back. We'll have another meeting, and then we'll be presenting to Ms. Shelley as the chair with Land and Construction in the committee, and then we'll move forward with that. Now remember, that's going on. Remember that chart at the top. That's going to be ongoing with all the bigger things too. So this is going to be happening just continually because all the facilities need things, while the big things that we've been talking about. So it's big, but it's good stuff.
Any questions right now? I believe we have to take a recess at 6. Is that accurate?
We have to take a recess, I believe it's 6:30 for the special.
Oh, okay.
So do we have to approve this to go like on a consent agenda?
Yes, but Mr. Tesvich brought up the fact that we probably need to add those 5 buses, which would be a total of $750,000 approximately. So I'd like to, I'm not sure the correct terminology at this point, to amend this budget to include those 5 buses.
I would like to, so that way we can make this a recommendation
Yes.
to go on to the consent agenda.
Yes.
So we would
So
essentially.
Can I propose an
Go ahead.
amendment that on page 22 of our budget, line 2721, 73200, the one at the very top of the page, buses,
Yep.
it has a blank right now. I propose that we amend the budget to have $750,000 under the 25-26 budget in that column.
I'll make a second.
So you want to make that the motion to approve this with that in there?
Yes.
Yeah.
We have to
And you're
approve-
seconding it,
Yeah, we have to approve the amendment,
yeah.
and then
Oh.
we can continue discussion on other stuff in case there's anything else in the budget.
Oh, okay, all right,
So discussion about the amendment would be next.
okay. Do we have any more discussion? We have a motion and a second. Do we have any more discussion from the audience? Hearing none, I guess we'll vote on the amendment. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any nays? Okay, so that part will go on to the budget
Thank you.
that we're gonna try to approve next.
right?
September 4th.
September 4th, yeah, but I mean, we still gotta approve the, making a recommendation to approve the budget now. So do I have a motion for that?
So offered.
Okay, we have a motion by Mr. Tesfich,
I'll second.
seconded by Ms. Linder. Okay, do we have any more discussion on the budget
So I had
that you
something,
proposed?
something I wanted to bring up, and this is kind of a wish, right? I always think of things as we talk about capital improvement needs, wants, and wishes, right? So something I have is a wish, and something I was looking at was, and I gotta find it in here so I can refer y'all to the right place. It's food service. It's gonna be 24.
I think so. I thought I saw it.
Yep.
Yes, 24. Right here, 33.
No, it's 38, on page 38.
Oh,
So page 38 is our food service budget. And this is just something I'm asking the administration and the other board members to look at. If you look down to line item 3120, 63100 food purchase, and 63200 food commodities, notice our projected numbers, right, and our budget numbers. The budget's slightly over what our projected numbers for what we're gonna expend in 24-25. I know we, Ms. Turner was instrumental in bringing some youngsters in and talking about cafeterias and our food service and all that. And I remember hearing several times that like, well, we do what's the federal minimum. Well, I would like to know, could we expand upon that? And this is coming back to Maslow's hierarchy of needs that I talked about in the capital improvement plan meeting. One of the basic things of your needs is food, right? And I was wondering, is there a way that we could look at improving this for our kids and for teachers that are eating in the cafeteria and what other staff members we have? Like doing something to increase our food quality levels. And don't get me wrong, I'm not saying it's bad. I enjoy what is presented here. I enjoy when I'm eating meals at school. But I was just wondering if we could do a little something extra, right? We always want to do a little something extra. We want these boundless opportunities. I was wondering if there could be something, and look, I'm not saying we need to amend this budget tonight. I'm just bringing it up as something that was on my mind when looking through budget items. So that's what I'm saying. Can we look at this in the future?
Yeah.
And I'm open to discussion from other board members and administration.
And this is, never even had a discussion with you. I had some kids that wanted to set up a meeting. Literally was supposed to do it today about the menu and the cafeteria stuff. And I said, well, I'll speak to y'all today, but then it was just all this other stuff. And I said, I'll do it Wednesday when we have our open house. Literally just had these kids wanting to meet about
food.
food service, about the food, and then it's just divine information. I just had to put that out there because it was literally, I'm sorry, I keep this mic. I just had a discussion about that, and they wanted to talk about having an input, once again, about the food. That's crazy. It's literally divine intervention, I'm just saying.
Because I don't know
Right.
what it would cost, so I'm not
Right.
asking the board or the committee to amend the budget or anything like that. But if that's something we can look at,
Yeah.
and then maybe go back and amend the budget in a couple months.
Yeah, I think that's simple, that's easy. And you know, when I saw the numbers going down here, I was taking in the idea that if you look back from 24-25, what the original budget was and the projected was, I was thinking, okay, now it's a little bit less, but a little bit more and so forth when you look at it from compared to last year, which he's projecting, because I was thinking less students. You know, that's why in my mind wasn't really, the number had gone technically down in the projection in which she had made from last year. But that's easy. That's Miss Donna's always willing to try something.
And I was hoping she was here, because I was gonna.
She what? Did
Ask
she
her
leave?
about
She probably. Yeah, you want to see Miss Liz?
You don't
See
have,
if
you don't
she's-
have to call her up. We
Oh,
can-
okay.
It's something that we could definitely,
Yeah,
talk
that
about.
is. Yeah, I'll
And
talk
then
to
maybe
her.
invite some kids and have
Uh-huh.
input on it.
We invited
Like
kids
we did before.
a couple of years ago to have a
Yeah,
committee
we were
meeting.
down in,
Yeah.
that's
A
right.
Learning center,
I
yeah.
dropped the ball on that
Mm-hmm.
because we have quite a few kids that wanted to do the same.
Yeah.
No, I'm like literally the kid, like we just had a conversation.
She wanted to call me today.
Had a
Yeah.
conversation about, sitting down and discussing
And her mother, where does her mother work?
in the cafeteria.
Thank you.
Because that would help too.
I'm sorry. I just
That's
had to
easy.
say that.
That's
Free
easy.
lunches here is higher than that.
Yeah. We can do that for sure.
All right, thank y'all. That was all I had on the budget. Me and Ms. Phelan talked about a bunch of stuff earlier. I'm not gonna belabor the point with y'all.
All right, so, we have a motion to approve this now, to go on the consent agenda for our September meeting.
A motion for a recommendation.
Waiting for a recommendation, yeah, by Mr. Testford and seconded by Ms. Linda. Do we have any more discussion from anybody in the audience or board members or administration? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any nays? Okay, the motion carries to the consent agenda. Now we'll move on to discussion and/or action regarding approval of a $3,000 annual stipend for MediaTek holding a VEXA, I hope I'm saying that right, certification as a certified technology specialist. Dr. Ritz.
Thank you. When I was having meetings with some of the payroll people, and Catherine can help me with this, they were talking about, what about these stipends that are on the technology pay scale? I'm like, what are you talking about? Because I really didn't remember back years ago that I actually had Miss Martinez pull the books, that back in like 2012 or 13 it started because of the tech. They're back here. It's not a traditional 4-year degree, and sometimes not even traditional 2-year degree. Based on their certifications, stipends had evolved from, I believe, back with Miss Roberts and Miss Kusan were actually in charge of technology. And guys, y'all can help me and add in on any time. So they had things like Word certification, then it was like a $250 stipend. Then they had another, it was like a $1,200 stipend. And back then, the mines have been the same since back then. This latest, so the whole idea of getting certification and getting stipends for that and the technology for the techs have been going on for a while. This particular one is upon us going into some construction and knowing that we were going to have, because actually during our meetings we had Arlen coming in with CSRS. When you start building facilities and having the correct sounding and video equipment, there's floor plan studying, there's acoustics and so forth, and most of the time at the universities, this is the people that they have to have this certification. So we did invite a couple of techs to go and get this certification. One had taken us up on it, and it was 8 days of classes from morning to afternoon, and then there were like 10 assessments they had to take, and the person got it. So what we want to do is add onto that stipend page this particular certification to receive a stipend for that, because when we start building and constructing, we're going to be tapping into this person to help give us what do they see to help benefit us as well in the construction. So that's my invitation. Does anybody have any questions? Anyone?
Do we need a
Yes.
recommendation first?
Please.
Anybody would like to recommend this to go to the consent agenda?
I would like to recommend to move this forward.
Okay, we have a motion by Mr. Tesvich. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Seconded by Ms. Phelan. Any more discussion from board members or technology people back there waving their hands?
I wanted to ask if there was going to be an opportunity for other people in my department to earn this money for this. I was invited to go to the AVIXA conference, but I was not invited to do the boot camp over the weekend. So that could have been a miscommunication, but my understanding was that Chad was, I'm sorry, I shouldn't have said that name. The person in question was doing that part themselves, and that so he would be going early, and I would be meeting up just for the following days. So
Experience for everybody.
right, and that's fine. My question is just that it says MediaTek only on here. So if you think it's valuable and that everybody should get it, then it should be a department certification, or we should talk about other certifications that could be more valuable.
Mr. Palermo brings up some excellent points, and I talked with several board members about this item. And I'll be honest, it was a little bit of a hot button item, and I said, I'll bring it up during the meeting because I don't want anyone
Correct.
to get their feelings hurt about this. So the question is, did everyone have the opportunity to get this? And that's a valid point, but I think we need to back up a notch because the way that this is written, the way that this item is written, it is a bonus for a person that is already getting it, and I don't know if we can do that as board members. We can approve a stipend for all employees, but we cannot approve something to be given to a person because that is the administration. That goes to the administration. There was another criticism by several, I'll say 2 board members to me, and that is, we did some stipends, we did some more stipends, now we're doing another stipend. Can we just make it uniform? Not saying that whoever earned this, well, hold on, I don't even want to say that. I don't want to say that we're going to, that the stipend is not going to be given out tomorrow or next week or next year, but the stipend will be given out eventually. The question was by board members, can we approve all these stipends in one shot? And also, can we have some details on the rigor for each of the certifications? Like, for example, we just approved a CFP. I'm sorry, not a CFP.
CPA.
CPA, excuse me. A lot of numbers in there. A lot of TLAs, 3-letter acronyms. So I know what a CPA does. I know the rigor for a CPA, but I don't know the rigor for a CTS, right? I know the rigor for a national board certified teacher because I've seen it before. I know someone who is one very personally, and I know what they go through to get it. I don't know the rigor of a CTS, and I don't know if, I mean, yes, do we value our employees? Absolutely, but is it worth $3,000? And if every single person in the tech department or other people who are not media techs, as Mr. Palermo said, if they want to go out and get this because maybe they're a teacher now, but eventually they want to be one of our IT people, could they get it in advance and get paid for it because that's the career path that they see in front of them? So there's some questions with this that I think we need to clean up before we approve it. Again, whoever went out and got this, you know, if you got it and we're approving a stipend as a board for anyone who can get it, that's fine. And I'm not saying I don't want to give that person this stipend, but it's not me to give a person a stipend. It is up to me, it is up to us as a board to approve stipends, and then the people who work in our district go out and get those stipends, right? Like we approved master's degrees on our salary schedules. So that's an encouragement for anyone who's a teacher or whatever support member to go get a master's degree. So I feel
So Mrs.
we
Hester,
may need to alter our language here a little bit on this to make sure we're clean, make sure we're legal because we don't do personnel, and
Right.
just make sure it's fair across the board for everyone.
correct. So currently we have, so is your suggestion right now, because one I believe was Microsoft Tech, did a stipend for?
Yeah, there was 3 tiers of certifications, and they were kind of loosely. It was $250, $500, or $1,250 with a cap of $1,500 total.
But that was specifically only for technology, but you're saying
Yes.
anyone in the district should get that?
I'm just saying that's a great question. Should it come out to someone? Because don't we have people in schools that are the technology caretakers that keep track of all the technology?
They're
that's
just
there?
managers, they're just picking up the items and putting it, you know, as
But
far as
would
accounting.
it benefit them to have this? Like I'm saying, I don't know the rigor of this certification. I don't know what, I mean, I can look it up
Correct.
online and see what it says, but I mean, you know. this
Yeah, I'm
is-
not talking about this one in particular, but I'm talking about the 3 that exist. Are you suggesting to take those away right now from those people with those
No, we've
stipends?
already approved it, right?
Correct,
We've
I just want
already
to make
approved
sure.
it. Yeah. I mean,
Yeah,
that-
they've been
that-
in place for a very long
right.
time.
Now, I didn't see those on our salary schedule. Those,
Yeah.
were they on the bottom of the salary schedule?
Not the current one, it was on, they're still working on all those details.
Right.
The last year's salary schedule at the bottom, on the tech page, if you go to last year's,
Oh,
they have,
Oh, this is job
that's
description,
job
Yeah.
descriptions.
And does the,
Yes.
does the CTA have to like recertify and recertify like a CPA?
You have the salary schedule?
Some certifications are lifetime, but many are not. So, for example, like A+ certification, we have technicians that have it grandfathered in from the 90s. When I got mine in the 2010s, it's one that it expires. So you have to re-up it. So I think CTS has to be re-upped, but I can't say for sure. I'm not that familiar with it. But based on conversations, it's one of those ones where you have to retake the test or get hours towards it or take the next level test, which is typical for most things now for us.
Mrs. Tasvich, I think I sent you in the email the copies of some pages from 2015, 16, and all the way.
Our current salary schedules don't have media tech listed as a job.
No, it was.
That's a new job title that was approved at the last meeting.
So the job code is MC Tech. Where is the MC Tech job title on these salary schedules? Where's that code? You know how like there's a bunch of, there TSAD?
Right, there
Where's
was
the
a-
TSAD code at?
The technology tab was all one department on the new salary schedules. And
Okay,
it should
so
be
it's Tech,
towards,
page
yeah,
68. There's
Yeah.
no stipends on
No.
the salary schedule.
because we were not aware of it at that time.
Miss Ledette, Miss Martinez and Miss Montague came and showed us. I didn't know, I wasn't aware of it. They said, well, Shelley, every time they get a certification, this has been in place. I said, well, show me. And they showed me back. Am I correct, Scott? Y'all been getting stipends?
Yes, and like I said, it was with a $1,500 cap. And that's from when I got hired. It's been like that, so at least 15 years.
Correct.
And you receive it yearly?
It is yearly. And then they do, when your certifications expire, you do lose the stipend.
But
So
you can renew.
you can renew, or you can get
Yeah.
different certifications, right? It's just a $1,500 cap total. Which was, my follow-up question was, do we, is the cap increasing, or is there going to be no cap, or, it may not be a question for this
Yeah,
room, but it was just,
So
A question that I had.
I actually looked through policy and stuff that we have, and there wasn't much that we have on policy about stipends. And I feel like if we open ourselves to keep giving stipends here and there, we're not going to have any clear-cut definition of who deserves a stipend, why. And then there's no definition of why does this person get this much of a stipend versus this person gets this much of a stipend. And the reality is, and I'm just going to say this from an educator's point of view, when you go get your master's degree, which takes you about 2 years, or maybe longer when you're actually being an educator, you're paying for college. Sometimes you're lucky to have a district that will help pay or somewhat pay. But I have friends who went and got their degrees, their masters. I never went and got my master's because I only wanted to teach. I never wanted to be anything else. And I felt like, why am I going to go get it? Now that I'm at the end, I know why. But my friends are sitting in schools with their administration degrees. And the value that they give teachers with master's degrees who can't move on is about $800 more. So you're looking at about 5 years, if it's paying back your college, that you're not really getting anything in your pocket for having that degree. So my thought process is, if we're going to do this and we're going to do it properly for the parish and financially sound, we need to have policy in place about what those stipends are for, why are you getting them, but encourage them, because we do want our people better. We want the strongest people leading our parish.
definitely.
And I think with the technology, why it all evolved back then is because they don't do the traditional college pathways in regard to the technology. And with it, the evolution of it, I believe when it was all evolved, I mean, talking about y'all, at least 12, 15 years ago it started. They started doing this because of encouraging them to get certain certifications, because it wasn't done through traditional coursework at a university. I believe that's how it started. Scott's right, it's been the exact same since the beginning. So the $1,500 max, it's still $1,500 max of what, they're expected to have. So we can absolutely table this, put this on the side, but, in lens to what you were saying, Ms. Linda, in regard to the master's degree and so forth, it is a shame that, there's only so much level in between and the amount of money that cost. I think the difference here was because of the evolution with technology and the push for everyone to get credentialed back then, it became, and it started as a different mindset. is how it got
And
there.
no disrespect to you on that, because listen, technology is evolving faster than we can blink, and we need y'all to be on top of things, because you have to be smarter than the next person coming into a classroom, actually smarter than a kid. And so I'm not saying that, I'm just saying that if we're doing this, we have to have some kind of knowledge of why are we doing it for each person, and be able to explain that to everyone, our staff, our faculty, and our community, because they need to know we're doing this with value, that we do value the people that we have, and we are encouraging them to be better.
Definitely. And if I can just say one last thing, to that point, I do think that number-wise, like right now, for example, many of us don't have a lot of certifications because like studying for weeks to get $250 a year hasn't been worth it.
Yeah.
So like a number like this, like I saw this and I was like,
Yeah.
that'd be sweet, like $3,000. I'll go take a test for that, especially if it brings the value. And certifications do bring a lot of value to the district, just not necessarily to the individual that has it, it feels like sometimes. So I think that looking at stuff like this is really important. I appreciate you doing that.
And no doubt that you could pass the test today, because you're always learning in your job. So I encourage y'all to always move forward with it.
And once again, we did encourage, we wanted multiple people to attend, and so forth. We sent them to get the coursework and so forth and to take it, because once again, the smarter our techs are, the more we benefit from it, the more we can have techs that are bringing in the latest technology to us. So we always want to encourage people to. Now, going back to the salary book and so forth, that has to be we don't want to take money away from them that they've been having in that stipend. So like the stipend page that's been there, for example, stipends for the tech managers at the campuses and so forth that were approved last year, or stipends for the 504 coordinators and all that. Those are all still in place that have been continuous each year. Those haven't decreased. They're just bringing on over to again this year. Does that make sense, Mrs. Hespage?
So we approve something without seeing it in writing.
The stipends, we do need to bring the stipends forward.
So can I
Well,
ask-
no, that's incorrect, because the stipends are listed on the back of the salary schedule. The only one that is not there is the $3,000 for technology, because there were some changes on the same agenda for substitute pay and other things that we weren't aware of and could not include in the new salary schedules. But they were approved and will be appended to the salary schedules when we publish them.
It's that same page that we've had carried over from
Yeah.
the other year.
Yeah.
Okay, so what we're looking to do is approve a new stipend tonight. That's our goal, is this committee.
To table it.
We can take
We can take
Yeah,
it.
we could,
Okay, well, I'll rescind my recommendation.
okay. Do you rescind your second? Who
I
else?
do.
Okay, and we'll,
No, it's Miss Bailey.
yeah,
No,
Ms.
it was Ms.
Phelan.
Phelan.
second.
It was Ms. Phelan.
So I'd like to make a motion that we table this recommendation to the next Budget and Finance Committee meeting.
Okay,
I'll second.
That's letting us know that we have to take a recess from this particular meeting to go into the special board meeting. That has to start at 6:30.
it's only 6:23, we got 7
We've
minutes.
got 7 minutes. We can
we
try
take
and
a
get through the
vote?
last one right now.
Can we
Yeah.
take, we
Okay.
gotta take a vote
Can we
first.
take a vote on that?
Oh, to table it, we gotta take
Yeah,
a vote?
to table.
Okay, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any nays? Okay, the motion is tabled until the next Budget and Finance Committee meeting. Okay, if we can maybe get through this, 5 minutes. Discussion and/or action regarding approval of a counselor job description inadvertently left out of job descriptions review at the August 7th board meeting. Ms. Catherine Phelan.
My apologies to the board. We inadvertently left out the counselor job description, and we just want to be open and transparent with you all. It consists of 5 pages. includes the Act 311 language. It has been vetted by several people, and we ask that you all approve this to be included in the new job descriptions.
I recommend that we approve.
I'll second.
We have a recommendation by Mr. Tesvich, seconded by Ms. Linder. Any more discussion from anybody? Dr. Ritz? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any nays? Okay, the motion carries on to the consent agenda item for September's meeting. And what do we have? Information items, if you want to go over any of those real quick.
Yes, please. Ms. Sanger had asked me for a salary schedule book that was bound a couple of years ago, and I had no idea how lengthy this process was and dense. And so, if any of you would like a bound salary schedule book, we will be happy to provide that to you. All right. Thank you.
Any more information items? Hearing none, we'll end this meeting at 6:26 p.m.
Go team. My goodness.